Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
A powerful message.
I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied with the outcome. There's no punishment that fits the crime. Not even torture and death would be justice.
A mother comes face to face with her ex-husband who killed their children and tells him he will burn in hell for all eternity.
If you plan on dining in Midtown or downtown Detroit, there's a good chance you will not get tap water from the restaurant. We'll tell you what's behind this boil water advisory and just how long it will last ahead.
And bringing home Baron. Good news tonight for this dog who was brutally tortured and ended up capturing our hearts.
We're going to start things off, though, here at 5 with the weather. Dramatic changes in the next few hours. Wind advisory, rain on the way, and believe it or not, snow on the way, too. We normally do see it all when it comes to weather in the month of March, but we're going to see it all on this one single first day of March.
Yeah, let's get over to Ben right now, and we're going from near 60 to snow pretty quickly here, Ben.
Yeah, Kim, all that February that we didn't have in February, Mother Nature wants to put it now, and you can already start to see those changes, mainly north of 69 right now, where that transition line is between the rain and the snow. So we're getting snow showers northern Genesee and Lapeer counties, and then gradually we will see that spread across most of southeast Michigan this evening. The temperature difference is stark, coming out of the 50s here on the east side. 30s already taking shape there in Howell. Sandusky's at 36, and we will be down below freezing in a good chunk of the area tonight. In fact, a lot of spots are going to be there before midnight. 29 there at 10 o'clock, 28 at midnight. That should end the snow. We'll talk about how much we're expecting in our 4-zone forecast and if we're going to warm up at all in the next 7 days. It's coming up in a few minutes, guys.
Hey, Ben. An emotionally charged day in court as Gregory Green, the man convicted of killing his ex-wife's 4 children, learned his sentence.
Green was sentenced to 47 to 102 years in prison, likely the rest of his life. This was after pleading guilty to 4 counts of second-degree murder for killing his own 2 children and 2 stepchildren inside their Dearborn Heights home last year.
He also tortured his wife that night, slashing her face. And you could see that scar on her face today as she spoke in court about the heartache and extreme pain she's endured. She told her ex-husband he would, quote, burn in hell for eternity.
Rod Maloney has covered this case from the very beginning. Rod, we can't even imagine what she's been through.
Yeah, Devin, it is impossible to imagine what all of these people have been through. And it was a plea bargained sentence here this afternoon because there was the goal to avoid a murder trial. So it was pled down to second-degree murder, but for all intents and purposes, it really changes nothing. He will spend most of the rest of his life in prison. And one of the things that we heard from the prosecutor and even the judge in this case is that anybody who was touched by it was seriously affected by it. And we start with the family.
Your justice will come when you burn in hell for all eternity for murdering 4 innocent children.
Faith Green, whose scars were visible along her jawline, put there by her now ex-husband while he had her zip-tied and wounded so she could watch him murder her 2 oldest children, 17-year-old Kara and 19-year-old Chadney Allen, while 4-year-old Kaylee and 5-year-old Coy Green were asphyxiating inside his car, lashed out.
If the day ever comes when I do wake up and it's not the first thing that I think about, when I look in the mirror, I will always be reminded by the scars he put on my face, cutting me from my ears to my chin with a razor blade box cutter.
Faith admitted she lives in constant physical pain and called Gregory Green, seated just feet away, a monster and a devil in disguise.
I am not and did not and will not suffer like you intended for me to do.
Yet Green had a first statement of his own.
You know, I do regret and I'm sorry for what has happened. You know, all I've ever wanted was a God-fearing helpmate that would support me and be faithful.
Judge Dana Margaret Hathaway was having none of that, telling Green his crimes were unconscionable, and drew a cheer from the family, saying,
I'm convinced that you will be incarcerated for the remainder of your life.
Thank you!
Now, that was one of a couple of outbursts in a very packed courtroom with a lot of family and friends there who were trying desperately to hold their emotions down. And strangely enough, even the judge choked up on the bench talking about how difficult this case was. She wasn't even sure how everybody was going to get through it today. But as it stands right now, Gregory Green headed off to prison pretty much for the rest of his life. Back to you.
How does Gregory Green's jail time here, though, work out?
Yeah, well, what they did was they did 45 to 100 years.
Yeah.
That's the range, which makes him eligible for parole, but he would be 97 years old when he becomes eligible for parole.
All right, Rod. Well, our other big story tonight, a boil water advisory in effect for a big chunk of the city of Detroit, Hamtramck and Highland Park.
Yeah, you can see here the huge area affected on this map released by DWSD, and it turns out a malfunction at a pumping station caused it. So let's bring in Jamont Terry live. And Jamont, this went into effect last night. Any word on when it may be lifted?
Well, Kimberly, they're hoping to have this boil water advisory lifted by Friday morning. So until then, if you pop into a restaurant in downtown Detroit or in Midtown and those other areas, you are not going to drink any water from the tap. Instead, these bars are ready to serve up bottled water, and the same applies to your house unless you boil it first.
At restaurants around Midtown, burners are working overtime, warming not so much food, instead tap water.
Right here we have the water that's fixing my car. I will go later for more.
At La Ferra Spanish Tapas on Cass Avenue, the owners were forced to make an unexpected run.
We have ice everywhere. We have ice here, so we have, 3 packs of ice here.
They purchased ice cubes because this restaurant and other businesses in Midtown and downtown Detroit can't use the water without boiling it first.
It looks like we have this problem, I think, until Friday.
The water problem is widespread, spilling into Highland Park and Hamtramck. An equipment malfunction at the Great Lakes Water Authority caused the pressure to drop.
Anytime a system loses pressure, there's always a possibility of bacterial contaminants entering the system.
And for that reason, Hamtramck City Hall busy filtering calls about the advisory affecting the entire city. The possibility of bacteria in the water forced the Hamtramck School District to shut down.
Due to the fact that it would be very hard to provide bottled water for 3,000 plus students.
Parents received a call informing them to leave the kids at home on this day.
The water's not safe. I don't think it's a good idea.
So the good idea tonight, if in fact you live in one of these affected areas, they're asking that you boil your water for at least 1 minute if you're going to cook or drink it. Of course, if you come out to a restaurant and you're in one of these affected areas, you should be getting bottled water. And keep in mind, if you need carbonated soda, you can't get it tonight because they need water for that. So that's the situation. Of course, you got until Friday until this boil water advisory expires, and people are just going to have to deal with it for the time being. For now, reporting live in downtown, Jamont Terry, Local 4.
Jamont. Well, 2 women charged in the shooting death of a 17-year-old Garden City High School student faced a judge this afternoon. Steve Garagiola following this for us. Steve, both women charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death that killed Reginald Robinson.
Yeah, I guess this is a day for highly emotional and heartbreaking stories in courtrooms. The arraignment this afternoon, 36th District Court, the 2 women charged with first-degree murder in the death of 17-year-old Reginald Robinson. They showed no emotion at all this afternoon. For the victim's family, they're finding it very hard to deal with their grief.
He watched over all of us, always a protector, always watching over, always, it's crazy.
17-year-old Reginald Robinson shot and killed outside a gas station party store on Plymouth Road. The accused shooter, Erica Osborne, who along with Sharnia McCoy, who was driving their car, is charged with felony firearm and first-degree murder. McCoy entered the store and thought it was Robinson or one of his friends who made derogatory remarks. She left, got a gun, and is accused of firing a fatal shot.
Them girls took my baby and they not remorseful at all. They just looking like, oh, well, you took my baby at 17, my baby gone.
A statement from the prosecutor says Osborne and the victim had a heated exchange in the store. According to the boys who were with Robinson, none of them made a comment, but did laugh at hearing another man they didn't know hurl an insult at the woman about her size.
The boys laughed. They did that. When did laughing become a reason to take someone's life? It has to stop. We losing too many of our babies over stupidity.
Well, the victim's home is here behind me, and there's been a steady stream of family and friends to try to lend comfort. But there really is no comfort for this family. Those two women remain in custody. If convicted, they would face life in prison. Reporting live in Detroit, I'm Steve Garagiola, Local 4.
Boy, all right, Steve. A former U.S. Customs officer and Boy Scouts leader appeared in court today amid accusations of inappropriately touching a 12-year-old boy.
37-year-old David Radecki was in court today for pre-trial. He's been charged with criminal sexual conduct, accosting a child, and indecent exposure. Radecki posted bail but remains on a tether. He'll be back in court for his preliminary exam on March 10th.
Big day on Wall Street. The Dow breaking the 21,000 mark. It closed today after jumping more than 300 points to hit that historic milestone. It comes just 24 days after the Dow crossed the 20,000 mark for the first time ever.
Well, Baron, the dog found mutilated and abandoned on the side of the road in Detroit, now has a new home.
Severely injured Rottweiler was found back in January, horribly abused and disfigured. He's since undergone surgery. Last week, the Michigan Humane Society announced the Baron was ready to be adopted, as we reported, and today he went home with his new family. $40,000 reward. $40,000 is still out there being offered for information on whoever it was who hurt Baron.
He looks so happy now.
Great picture. Yeah,
smiling.
really amazing. Sean Lang has a look at what he's working on next. Sean?
Live at 5:30 only on Local 4 News. A Local 4 investigation. A caregiver removes her client from his home in Southgate and takes him to River Rouge, where he is hit and killed by a car.
He should have never been here, though. He should have been home.
Maybe. But to me, that at the time, that was the right decision.
That man's family heartbroken and speaking out tonight. We also speak to the caregiver, the reason why she had to go to River Rouge. Will shock you. Coming up on Local 4.
A big day in Flint, but some say for all the wrong reasons. What the governor has done that has some people angry.
All right, Hank, but first, my one-on-one interview with a local judge who's gone viral.
I knew at that moment that I had to do something or this whole situation could spiral out of control.
Judge Kiana Lillard sits down with me to talk about that courtroom outburst and what had her really worried right before she took action.
New at 6.
Really, I'm very happy back to my family.
Well, imagine their relief. This dad from Ann Arbor back home after being detained for weeks and facing the threat of deportation. We'll hear more from him and his family at 6 o'clock.
Plus, we just can't afford this. That's the plea coming from people in Melvindale as they stare down yet another water rate increase. Well, this is probably the first time you got a look at Judge Kiana Lillard on the bench, lashing out at a woman making a scene in court during a sentencing in a deadly DUI crash. Well, that video has been viewed now more than 23 million times. But behind that tough-talking exterior, you'll find a soft-spoken and smart woman who's driven to serve the law. I sat down with Judge Lillard and talked about that viral moment and ended up learning a whole lot more about her.
Not in courtroom 502, not today and not any other day.
This day wasn't as out of the ordinary as you would expect in courtroom 502. And even though Judge Lillard was in command, she was still worried about what could happen.
I knew at that moment that I had to do something or this whole situation could spiral out of control, and I don't want that. Nobody wants that. And you, ma'am, are going to the Wayne County Jail for 93 days for direct criminal contempt. Anybody else want to go? Try it. The last thing you want is for some fight or something like that to break out and just make everything worse. So I feel like it's my job just to make sure that order is maintained and that nothing gets out of hand. And so I just did what I had to do. Oh, my mouth? Well, thank you. Your mouth got you 93 days. It's nothing different than I would have done if the cameras weren't there or any other day. It's nothing different than what I've done on a number of occasions.
In the nearly 4 years she's been a judge, she's seen quite an attitude shift.
Overall, there's a lack of civility. I mean, people today in America, for whatever reason, just don't hold things sacred the way that they used to. People just think that they can act however and say whatever and that everything's funny. They don't take anything seriously. I don't know if it's reality TV. I don't know if it's social media where people are so used to trolling and acting crazy when it's anonymous and there's no consequences. And that's what makes them start to carry this over into real life. I don't know what the problem is, but I just know that I don't have any of that in my courtroom ever. You cannot make a mockery of the justice system. I won't tolerate it, not today and not any other day. You better ask somebody. We don't play that in courtroom 502.
The defendant's mother in this case had to learn that the hard way, and so will anyone else who disrespects her courtroom.
What would your message be to folks that if they ever...
Don't try it. Don't try it unless you want to go to jail.
And that's only part of my chat with Judge Lillard. Ahead at 5:30, hear how she's dealing with her sudden stardom and even calls that she deserves her own show. That answer that she has, it might surprise you. But I love it how she cut me off when I said, what's the message? She was like, don't even try it.
That. But it is interesting, her thoughts on how this has happened.
Yeah.
Our lessening of, the way that standards have changed a little bit.
That's right.
As expectation of behavior.
And she is not putting up with any of it.
Fascinating. All right, good to know that more is coming up. In the meantime, let's bring in Ben, who has got whatever you want, you're going to get some in the next 24 hours, I think.
I think that's pretty much it. We will even get back to some of those temperatures that we saw in the last several days, but it's going to be a while. So we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled winter, which, yes, it is still winter, believe it or not. And as we look out at some of the rainfall totals, those numbers, at least the estimates, topped 2 inches from the last 36 hours. All those little yellow bullseyes that you see in there, over 2 inches of rain. In fact, everything that's in green shades, pretty much from I-69 south, we saw over 1 inch of rain. There are very few spots that picked up less than that. From those storms that we saw, multiple rounds of those last night. Wind gusts have subsided ever so slightly, but they are still over 40 miles an hour in a couple locations. Mount Clemens right now at 44 miles an hour, Jackson's at 45. A reminder, we still have that wind advisory in effect until 10 p.m. tonight. After that, we will start to see wind subside as we get into the overnight hours. The cold air, though, is starting to rush in already. We've dropped to 45 in Detroit, and you can see 20s hanging out up here in northern parts of the state. That's what we will see for low temperatures tonight, believe it or not, and it's going to feel even colder. Wind chills tonight between 5 and 15 when we wake up tomorrow morning. What a switch. And the snow is coming with it too, by the way. It's not going to be a ton, but it's going to sweep through between this evening and about 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning. We'll be dry overnight, and there's not a whole lot to look at beyond tonight. In fact, we may be able to see a flurry here and there, but generally no significant precipitation. Temperatures are going to remain fairly steady once we get into tomorrow through the start of the weekend. But it is not going to be what we're used to, that's for sure. 26 tonight for the overnight low. And again, that wind advisory runs until 10 p.m. tonight. Sustained winds at 15 to 30 with those gusts up to 45, especially early this evening. Highs won't even hit 40 tomorrow. 38's as good as we can get. That is closer to average. In fact, it's actually a little bit below for this time of year. Your 4-zone forecast looking at snowfall tonight. And this is not going to be all that impressive. Metro zone, you're going to see a couple tenths at best. And remember, this is what's falling. This is not really what's sticking. Down in our south zone, I'd be surprised if we see anything but a few flakes. There will be a couple spots there in Livingston and Genesee County where we may get upwards of 1 inch of snow. And in our north zone, those numbers should be slightly tamped down there, about 2 to 7 tenths across most of the zone. Lapeer County just slightly more as we head towards tonight. Otherwise, 30s will take us into the start of the weekend. Then we'll spike noticeably there on Sunday. 57, 61 comes back on Monday. Not a lot of precipitation in that forecast, but man, it's going to be chilly here for the next few days.
Shock to the system for sure.
After where we have been.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
Okay, Ben. Well, just into our newsroom, will they be back or not? New information about the fate of the accountants who screwed up the Best Picture award at the Oscars.
But first, how this viral video causing huge problems for Uber. That's next. Uber's CEO is apologizing after a video that's gone viral showing him getting into a heated argument with an Uber driver.
Bloomberg obtained and released this dashcam video recorded by the driver. In it, CEO Travis Kalanick hitches a ride. Things were set to end amicably until the driver began questioning him about the dropping price of rides. Kalanick responded by yelling, then storming out of the car, and today he issued this apology to Uber employees.
It reads in part, quote, "The criticism we've received is a stark reminder that I must fundamentally change as a leader and grow up. This is the first time I've been willing to admit that I need leadership help, and I intend to get it," End of quote.
That's the first step, is
About that.
admitting
That's
it. So
pretty good response, I guess. The Dearborn Police Department made a big announcement today. Every single one of its officers is now carrying Narcan.
And Narcan is an opiate blocker that, if used quickly enough, can reverse the effects of an overdose and save a life. For the past 6 months, Dearborn officers have been training, and 5 people have already been saved.
Opiate abuse in America is essentially up 800% over the last 2 years. But the positive impact that Dearborn alone has had, just the saving of 5 lives in the short period of time that we've been training these officers, is very enlightening.
The Detroit Wayne Mental Health Authority is supplying the Narcan kits and also trained the officers. The organization says about 50% of police agencies in the state are now carrying Narcan.
A Michigan veteran is getting a new chance at living an improved life.
And it's all thanks to a new 4-legged friend. Donald Zazula recently spent 3 weeks in Florida training at K9s for Warriors. The organization pairs veterans with disabilities with rescue dogs turned service dogs. After earning 120 hours of training with a service dog, Zazula, who suffers from mobility issues, left Florida with his new friend, Harbaugh. And he and Harbaugh, Donald is obviously a Michigan fan, are now looking forward to their new life together in Auburn, Michigan.
Harbaugh might be a crazy dog, but he's going to be a good dog.
He's going to be a good dog. That's good.
Back with more in a minute.
New at 5:30.
What happened in Flint today could dramatically affect the financial future for many. I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank. Will reveal the controversy. New tonight.
And the judge in the Casey Anthony trial drops a bombshell, who he believes killed Kaylee.
An elderly man removed from his apartment in Woodhaven and brought here to River Rouge by his caregiver, where he's then hit and killed by a car.
So he should have never been there.
Next on Local 4, we talk to the victim's family, and we also talk to that caregiver.
It's dinner time.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
A grieving family with far more questions than answers. Their disabled loved one killed by a hit-and-run driver, and now police have new clues to help find whoever was behind the wheel. And it turns out finding the driver is just one of the questions that the family has.
Also want to know why the 69-year-old with Down syndrome was outside near the street in the first place. Sean Lay is live in River Rouge, and Sean, he was supposed to be under constant supervision, right?
Constant supervision, needed family's permission to leave his home. We're talking about 69-year-old Guy Oftelli. He would have been 70 this month. His family says he beat all the odds living with Down syndrome. Now, his family says he should have never been removed from his apartment way down in Woodhaven by his caregiver who brought him here to River Rouge.
He's in Woodhaven, should have been having his evening meal, watching a little TV, and getting ready for bed. They pull him into another apartment, then they get in the van and they go to River Rouge.
Fred Michelson says it's outrageous. A caregiver without authorization took his 69-year-old cousin, Guy Oftelli, and 3 other men from their assisted living apartments in Woodhaven, transporting all 4 men all the way to the caregiver's home in River Rouge, where outside, Oftelli was killed.
So he should have never been there.
But he was here on Polk Street in River Rouge the night of January 9th. The caregiver tells the Detroit Wayne County Community Health Agency that she was putting the men back into the van that night to go home when Oftelli got out. He was immediately hit by a car. She writes, quote, he flew over the front of the car, landed on his head in the street. The car kept going. Mr. Oftelli was killed. Nikia Brodneck says she transported the men so she could change her soiled pants. Was that your only option?
At the moment, yes.
Brodneck was fired by the assisted living company Frederick's Family Home of Southgate.
He should have never been here, though. He should have been home.
Maybe. But to me, that at the time, that was the right decision that I made.
He loved animals. He loved going to the zoo.
Mr. Oftelli's cousin is heartbroken. He says his cousin should have never been removed from his apartment without him signing off on it.
I just miss him. I miss him.
back here live. That family does indeed miss him, saying this case is outrageous. But let's make this perfectly clear. Investigators here telling us today that the caregiver, Nakia Broadnax, is not under any type of criminal investigation at all. They're calling what happened simply a freak accident. What is under investigation is the hit and run. Let's show you, because River Rouge police investigators, they took pieces from the car left at the scene. They matched them to a 2008 to 2012 silver Chevy Malibu. Tonight, police desperately need help to find the driver of that Malibu. They're hoping for some tips from the public. Devin?
Do we have comment from the assisted living company?
Yeah, that place, Frederick Family Homes in Southgate. We were there today. We also called the owner several times today. I've heard nothing back. Adult Protective Services, they did an investigation, and the state is also looking into why Frederick's is not licensed at this time. The family, Devin, has hired an attorney to look into all of this.
All right, Sean. Yep.
Okay, over here in the Weather Pod with Ben, and you've got a whole lot going on today and into the night.
Yeah, and you could see from Sean, even just standing still is tough out there.
Yeah.
The wind speeds have definitely been giving us fits. In fact, let's take a look at some of those gusts right now, which have topped 50 miles an hour at times today. Not quite there, and generally we will see these decrease the further into tonight we get. However, the wind advisory does remain in effect until 10 p.m. tonight. Thank goodness that our temperatures aren't going to be quite as cold as what we're expecting in the morning. That's when those wind chills could get down into single-digit territory. Believe it or not, even with lighter wind speeds, these temperatures really going to plummet. The other thing we're watching is the rain turning to snow. You can see that band right there around I-69. That's going to start moving south. Temperatures moving below freezing by 10 p.m. and we'll start seeing that snowfall tonight. We'll tell you how much to expect by morning coming up. Guys?
All right, Ben. Well, as we've mentioned earlier, it's March 1st, and for the people of Flint, it's a day many people have been dreading.
Governor Snyder says starting today, Flint residents must start paying their water bills again. Even experts say residents should still be using filters. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester is here now, and Hank, this has a lot of people angry.
It does. There are people in Flint that are angry. The mayor is definitely angry, but the governor's made it clear he is not budging. Flint, a big day, and many say for all the wrong reasons. Starting today, people living in Flint responsible financially for their water bills. The state had been offering credits, but in February, the governor announced those credits would be ending March 1st. Why? According to the governor, since recent testing shows the water quality now meets federal safety guidelines, the state decided residents should pay up. The issue? Since work is still being done to replace pipes and water quality can change at any moment, people are told to use filters or bottled water. Flint's mayor angry, saying people were given little notice and that people living here still need financial help. She spoke out about the bill battle in February.
Every month is important, and people needed to be on notice much longer than that. You know, that was information that I would love to have had if that was what the plan was at the end of the year. You know, not in 2 weeks, we're done. I don't think that is fair.
Now, you may remember shortly after the mayor of Flint spoke out there, she sat down with the governor in Lansing, hoping to hash this all out. Well, it didn't work in her favor. The governor saying that those bills, those tax bill credits, those water bill credits rather, ending right now. We can tell you, though, that bottled water and filters, they're still available, provided by the state of Michigan in Flint, free of charge. I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank.
Strong reaction in Washington today to President Trump's first address to Congress, which came last night. Many praising his speech, but both sides expressing concerns now over who are going to pay for his plans. Meantime, another executive order on immigration is expected this week. Blaine Alexander has a recap of a busy day in Washington. Blaine?
Well, Devin, it was certainly a much softer delivery that we heard from President Trump last night, a different tone than we're used to hearing from the president. And now many on both sides are asking if that speech will now translate into action.
So thank you very much. We're just here to start.
President Trump today meeting with leaders of his own party about how to turn his speech into a reality.
It begins as of now, and we think we're going to have tremendous success.
The meeting comes less than 24 hours after an address that struck a decidedly different tone from the president's usual style.
Everything that is broken in our country can be fixed.
Today, that softer approach is turning heads. Here in rural Ohio, signs of approval.
I thought it was very hopeful.
And I think
folks, our elected folks, need to give him a chance.
A message to some on Capitol Hill who appear doubtful the president's plans can move beyond talk and questioning how we'll all pay for it.
A president who says one thing, but in reality just does another.
In his speech, the president touted his success on jobs.
For the construction of the Keystone and Dakota Access pipelines, thereby creating tens of thousands of jobs.
But we put that through a fact check, and in reality, that number is lower, 16,000 according to the State Department, and mostly temporary jobs. Other points raising questions, his unemployment numbers and plans to boost military funding. And on immigration reform,
I wish you would send over an immigration bill.
The president did not go as far as expected, an issue for many Republicans.
And after several delays, a revised travel ban is now expected to come out sometime later this week. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
All right, Blaine, according to reports, by the way, the White House is also now considering removing Iraq from the administration's list of banned countries in the president's new executive order.
In South Haven, 5 high school students have been charged with raping a teenage girl. Police say they learned of the accusations last week and immediately interviewed the alleged victim and her family. After talking with the suspects, the Van Buren prosecutor's office issued 5 warrants for alleged criminal sexual assault. The 5 men turned themselves in and were released on a $1,000 bond each. They're expected back in court on March 8th. If convicted, they face 15 years in prison. The mother of a Central Michigan University student wants the school to investigate an alleged hazing incident involving her son.
Look at the picture this mother posted on Facebook. Her son has a peanut allergy. He was passed out when members of his fraternity rubbed peanut butter on his face. She says it happened last fall at an off-campus fraternity. A university spokesperson says the school just became aware of the incident this morning and is now investigating. The student, by the way, no longer attends CMU, says he left the school because of what happened.
It's just horrible.
We're lucky we're not talking about a dead student.
It could be worse.
Exactly.
Could be worse. All right, the judge in the Casey Anthony case has ended his silence and says he believes Casey Anthony killed her daughter.
However, he doesn't believe it was on purpose. In a recent interview, Judge Belvin Perry says he thinks Anthony accidentally killed her daughter Kaylee by using too much chloroform to try to quiet her. Perry went on to say he did not have a problem with the not guilty verdict. It's been nearly 6 years since the trial. Casey Anthony has yet to talk publicly about the case.
The 2 accountants responsible for the big flub at the Oscars won't be invited back.
Yeah, today the Academy president announced the accountants will never work the Oscars again. The president blamed one of them for being distracted by tweeting during the show. The accountants are being blamed for ruining the end of the ceremony by handing the wrong envelope, of course, notoriously by now, to Warren Beatty. Took 2 minutes and 30 seconds before the error was corrected. Moonlight was the best picture of the year. Wow. It looked like a stunt on a movie set.
Yeah, one small thing this driver did that brought a chase with police to a very sudden end.
Also, if you think flying first class is nice, you haven't seen anything yet. New tonight how a 9-day trip is costing one man more than $50 million.
But first, part 2 of my sit down with a Wayne County judge who's gone viral.
And there are people who are saying you need your own show.
Kiana Lillard's response to that question, and her answer just might surprise you. We'll be right back.
On the next Live.
New at 6.
She was barely into her 30s and the picture of good health. Then came a shocking diagnosis that forced this local woman into the fight of her life. Her inspiring story is new at 6 in Good Health.
Also, 2 former Detroit officers convicted of extorting drug dealers are taking to social media in their fight for a new trial. At 6 o'clock, how the U.S. attorney is trying to stop them.
Well, earlier here at 5, we introduced you to the judge behind the courtroom outburst that went viral. Judge Kiana Lillard's stern sentence during a courtroom outburst earned her 23 million views on our Local 4 Facebook page. When I sat down and talked with her, I just had to ask her how she feels about this sudden stardom.
Not in courtroom 502, not today and not any other day.
How does it feel to be famous?
I don't know. It's unreal. I don't know if I'm technically famous. I guess I'm internet famous now. I don't know. It just seems weird. This is a court of law. You cannot come down to the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice and act any way you want to act.
She's a soft-spoken, youthful-looking, hard-working judge. But don't let the looks fool you. She learned early on how to stand up for herself.
I don't know. I think I've always been that way. Maybe it was because I was the youngest of three and the only girl. I mean, the WWF was first popular when I was a kid. So who do you think they pretended to be Hulk Hogan and try their wrestling moves on? So I guess I had to learn very early on to have a voice. And I just can't tolerate disrespect, and I don't like when people don't act like they have sense. I just have no patience for nonsense. These people are here grieving, saddened, because a senseless act took away their loved one, and you all are sitting around here like it's a joke? Not in courtroom 502.
While the video has gone viral, some of her quotes from the courtroom drama are also trending on Twitter. Hashtags not in courtroom 502 and not today have become popular. So with all of this fame, what might be next for the judge?
I mean, there are people who are saying you need your own show. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I'm open to whatever God has in store for me. You know, I learned very early on that there's things that you can't control. You just have to stand ready to receive your blessings when they come and work hard and be prepared. So I don't know, whatever, I don't know.
To be continued there. And if you missed the other part of the story at 5, you can head over to clickondetroit.com and check out both stories. We've posted them in our top story section. But Devin, she is a Detroit girl through and through, grew up on the southeast side. She actually got a scholarship to go to the Roper School in Birmingham. And she talked about how she used to have to be at the bus stop before 7 in the morning to take a bus all the way there. And as I said, at 4 o'clock, she went on to get her undergraduate and law degree at Notre Dame, which I said we won't hold that against her. But just is really passionate about the work that she does.
And now back home. An interesting response there. She did not say, no, I don't want a television show.
She didn't say no.
That was not what she said.
To be continued.
Well, the King of Saudi Arabia making his first visit to Indonesia in more than 50 years, but all anyone can talk about is what he's bringing with him.
Just listen to this. When the king arrived in Indonesia on his 747 this morning, he brought an entourage of 1,500 people. Along with his massive entourage, there's more than 500 tons of luggage, including all of his own furniture.
Not all. The king also had 2 Mercedes-Benz automobiles delivered. Also, 2 freestanding elevators delivered as well.
Looks like that's an elevator as
Yes.
he's getting off the plane right now.
Total cost of around $50 million.